Hey guys, Stefan Fischer here from All Off Road. Have you ever wondered how to best attach your digital devices in the car? I use digital devices like iPads and iPhones over the past 9 years and have been through many different solutions. In today's video I would like to show you what I'm currently running in my cars and also what I reckon are the best solutions to secure your iPads and phones in your car. So let me first show you a few of the devices I have used. In my Discovery 3, in the Land Cruiser and also in the Defender, I used a few of these click-on devices. These are usually no-drill brackets and they look quite good because you don't have to drill, you squeeze them in. However, I found that they can't cope with excessive corrugation, and I removed this one here out of my Land Cruiser not too long ago. You see already I drilled additional holes to fix it with screws, but it just wasn't able to hold my iPhone securely. Look, to be honest, the mount lasted me for probably 3 years, and I like the no drill design. And if I wouldn't have done thousands of kilometers of corrugation, it may actually still last. But at the end, it got looser and looser, and I had to reattach it a few times. So eventually I removed it now. Ram mounts, probably the best known suction cup devices, and to be honest, I have used them for a long time. They are not too bad and really probably were the best available on the market. For the iPads I used dual suction cup devices like these here. Then I used some universal iPad holders here, fairly heavy thing. If you don't want to drill into your car's dashboard, suction cup holders are probably the most common device used. I have cheaper no-name ones here, and I personally do have a lot of RAM holders because that was my most favorite solution until I discovered what I show you a little bit later. I use them to hold my iPads, my phones, cameras, anything really which you can attach to a windscreen or a very flat surface. How good are they? Look, they are good, but they are definitely not perfect. I found even with the double suction cup devices, if you have them on the windscreen and have an iPad, for example, on it, the sun shines on it, they will come loose and fall off. And I had many situations, where in the middle of driving in the desert, going over bumps, all of a sudden I have my iPad coming off the screen and falling back. So while it was a reasonable solution, definitely not the best solution. Shortly before the last trip, I came across a new solution to stick stuff to your windscreen, or as a matter of fact to any flat surface. So let's get rid of this and let me show you this. It's called the Seasucker, and it's also kind of a suction cup solution. It works with the vacuum, but the big difference to the Seasucker is that it actually has a vacuum pump built in. And that means you can create, first of all, a much better vacuum, which lasts much longer. But also it has a mechanism in where when the vacuum slowly goes away over time, these buttons will come out. And as soon as you see the red, you just give that cup 1 or 2 pushes. It will pump out the air which has penetrated the seal here. And that means these will never fall off as long as you push the button from time to time. For full disclosure, after I heard about the Seasucker mounts, I purchased 2 myself on eBay to try them out, and I absolutely love them. I then contacted Seasucker Australia, and Seasucker kindly then provided me the tablet cradle mount Extreme Edition to test and review. So let's have a look into the Land Cruiser and see what my current setup in the Land Cruiser is. Let's start with my current mobile phone setup. As I mentioned previously, I recently changed my click-on no-drill solution for a drilled ram mount base plate, as the click-on mount came loose too often and I already put a screw in to just hold it in place. Given I already put a screw into the dash to keep the mount in place on one of the trips, I bit the bullet, put a second screw in and now fixed one of the ram mounts, which is holding very well. So for my mobile phone, I now have a RAM quick grip, which wireless charges my phone and is universal to most phones. It's bolted into the side of the dashboard, and that seems to hold up very well so far. Very happy with that solution. Before I change to the RAM wireless charging cradle, I used the RAM X grip. It is a good solution, it secures the phone well, however it's difficult to operate with one hand, and once the phone is in, it has quite a bit of movement, which became a bit annoying. The RAM quick grip changes that now. It also makes cable management a bit easier, and I don't have to constantly unplug and replug the phone to charge. I also like that I can enable or disable charging with a simple push on the button. Let me give you now my purchase list of RAM parts I bought for the setup. I used the RAM B238U diamond ball base as a base plate, a double socket arm so that I have maximum adjustability, and then the quick grip wireless with B-ball. While there are plenty of resellers in Australia, I purchased directly from RAM Mount in the US. While I haven't tested this new setup extensively, I'm very confident it will work, and it eliminated the issues I had. I always run two different iPads at the same time, usually with another map and scale. In my experience, it is essential to have at least one iPad mounting solution away from the windscreen, as windscreen mounted devices can overheat, in particular if you are driving into the sun for a prolonged time in summertime. So for my iPad Air, I'm using Arkon Slim Grip Universal Tablet Holder and an Arcon Tablet Heavy Duty Aluminium Seat Rail Mount. I prefer the rigid arms over the gooseneck as they vibrate less. I've had this setup since early 2019 and it has proven very successful for me. The only issue I had with the Arcon mount is that the base plate rattled loose. Initially I couldn't figure out how to tighten it again. However, you just remove the click mount at the back and there is one bolt which you can tighten, and that solved the issue. I purchased the original setup in 2019, but Arcon recently sent me a second setup for the Hilux, and I was glad to see that they changed the design there slightly and that issue is now resolved. I tested this system now for over 2 years and it works perfectly. The iPad there never overheats, and I also like that the system is quite easily removable, for example if the wife is traveling with me. So yeah, overall can only recommend the Arcon system. Let's now have a look at the mounting solution for my second iPad, an iPad mini. And as I mentioned initially, I had a dual RAM mount suction cup and an X grip there. However, on the last trip I replaced a dual RAM mount suction cup with a Seasucker, but still maintained the X grip. However, at least 3-4 times a trip the rubber plugs of the X grip pop out and the iPad falls out of the holder, which is quite annoying. And that is the reason why I have the cradle's feet resting on the dash. After my return, I had a chat with Seasucker Australia, and they kindly provided me one of their table cradle mount Extreme Edition. I yet have to test that cradle on one of my extreme trips, but here are some of my first impressions after installation.
I have to say that is super solid, that mount. Yeah, definitely better than the old one I have. I mean, there is zero movement here. That's pretty cool.
The Seasucker vacuum mount concept I tested on the last trip, and that has proven super successful and is the best window mounting solution I have come across so far. Let me quickly show you how easy it is to install the Seasucker suction cup mount for my camera holder. The Seasucker suction cup comes with a tube of lube. Just spread it around the edges of the suction cup so that it can generate a tight seal when you start sucking out the air. Make sure you clean the surface where you like to install the mount, then press the mount firmly against the glass and use a pump to create a vacuum and securely attach the mount. The suction which is created here is incredibly strong and there is no way that you can remove that mount easily. I now also replaced my RAM suction cup mount for my Spot 3 with the Seasucker mount.
I like that Seasucker uses the RAM system because I have a lot of RAM parts and I can all reuse them, just replace the suction cup mount.
So if you just purchase a Seasucker from eBay, as I did initially, and these are the RAM connections, they don't really fit 100%. But you can remove this part here, take it off. So I drilled 2 extra holes, as you can see here, and then just attached it like this with a bolt, and yeah, that works perfectly, as we can see here. However, if you go to the Australian Seasucker site, at that stage I didn't even know that there was a distributor here in Australia. He has also plenty of ready-made solutions.
If you're wondering how strong these Seasucker mounts are, have a look on their website. They actually have solution there for bike racks, for roof racks. So these vacuum suction cup solutions can hold an incredible amount of weight and are perfect as a device holder. With any windscreen mounted device, 2 things you have to keep in mind. I already mentioned before heat, so I have had my car parked for lunch break in the desert in the wrong direction with the sun on the windscreen, and iPads do overheat, and that means they shut down and you can't use them for a while. Also, if you drive into the sun for a prolonged time, they can overheat. That's why I always like to have one iPad below the dashboard, which will not overheat. The second thing is the legality of a window-mounted device. Don't take my word for it, but it is actually legal to have a device mounted on the windscreen. However, it must not obstruct your vision. So you could argue that it does in my case. I take the risk. I'm also happy to take it off if I need to, but so far in 9 years, I never had an issue with it. For these long drives, it's good to have for the kids a tablet mount in the back. I do have Arkon headrest mounts, which actually has the same tablet holder as the front mount, but it then mounts to the headrest, and yeah, that works very well as well.
So guys, that are the solutions I ended up with after 9 years of 4-wheel driving and trying quite a few different solutions. I reckon it's pretty much close to perfect for what is on the market at present. However, even if you use something completely different, leave me a comment in the comment section, because I'm always keen to learn about different solutions, and you never know, maybe there is something better around. If you enjoy my videos, get some use out of it, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you can, maybe even head over to Patreon and become one of my Patreon supporters. With the equivalent of a cup of coffee or 2 per month, you can really help me make these videos. You also have a few perks. You get early access to my videos, you can ask me direct questions via the Patreon platform, and from time to time I give some of my stuff away, and that is given to my Patreon supporters. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you along the tracks.